What's up, y'all? This is Draw with Nick, and it's day, I think, 12 of my 100-day drawing challenge. And I just wanted to make a quick video today because I wanted to go over some of the drawings that I've been doing and perhaps give a little bit of advice to someone who might be starting out and interested in what I've done and how I can maybe help a little bit with what I would do differently in the first week. And if you're watching this and you've been watching the channel from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much. I really appreciate the support. So, without further ado, this was my first drawing that I did after not drawing for like a really, really long time. So, I did this based off a YouTube tutorial and just took my time, locked in, got it done. Then I did like a little light Yagami tutorial here. That was cool and all. I drew a pretty cool guts, also cool. And then I got serious. So this was about, I guess, day 3, and I went and bought myself a nice drawing book at Michael's. Highly recommend getting like a cool sketchbook because it just makes it way more organized and you can look through it and it's nice. I got myself a sketching set with different shades. You can get different hardnesses of pencils. So I believe I got like 4 or 5 hardnesses of pencils and like 3 different thicknesses in my pens. I got a Staedtler was the brand, and it was like a 1mm, a 0.5mm, and a 0.3mm pen. So that's what I used for this drawing. You could already see like I was using just a regular like big ballpoint pen for these, and you could already see like just the pen quality in these 2 different drawings really made it a little bit more, I don't know, professional looking. So, I mean, honestly, it's the artist, it's not really the materials, but I think the materials did give me a little bit of a boost. And yeah, I was just kind of drawing portraits, didn't really have any direction. I was just looking up anime characters I liked. I drew Guts from Berserk. I watched a quick little video on dynamic figures. I don't know if you can see this, but I was just sort of drawing figures, if you will, that were moving around. So that was cool. A buddy of mine told me to do that. This was my 3rd time drawing Guts, and it came out pretty awesome, I think. The shading was like a little cleaner. You could see less scratchy, a little more natural. Again, I was using like a mechanical pencil for this one, so it was really hard to shade correctly. So, I mean, materials do matter. The hair, though, I feel like the spikiness I got way better instead of just like weird lines. And then Griffith was sort of just a cool piece that I did as well. And I think this was like day 4 here. This is when I found some direction. A buddy of mine who's a successful tattoo artist and kind of inspired me to do this challenge in a large part. He recommended me a channel called David Finch, who's like a 30-year-old Marvel comic veteran, and he has some pretty sick tutorials out there. This is a Loomis head drawing, so you can use like perspective, kind of like how the pen goes through the sphere and gives you perspective of where a face would look. So this isn't a tutorial for that, but I just want you to know that Andrew Loomis made this method. There's books on it from like 80 years ago, but there's also tons of tutorials online from David Finch, Draw Like a Sir. All kinds of great channels have really useful tutorials. And then gestural drawings I did as well. And this was just sort of a breakthrough moment because I'm like, oh, okay. I realized that the way to get better is, in a large part, you want to just do small drawings and keep small drawings consistent. You don't want to just draw these like super big portraits or whatever, because you're not really going to get better if you do a big portrait. Because I could draw an entire page of figures in different gestures, understanding perspective and 3-dimension perspective as well. in the time it would take me to like do one of these portraits. So that was sort of a breakthrough moment, if you will. So I would highly recommend, if you're just starting out, just go back and forth from doing gestural drawings like this to Loomis head perspectives, because once you get these two things down, you could draw a body in any position that you could imagine it in with your mind, and you can draw a face looking in any direction. And that's super useful. So yeah, I basically just started spamming these gestural drawings. I want to say this was around day 4 here. This was kind of cool. I did like a Tokyo Ghoul drawing. This was kind of like a Marvel cover. Followed that with a David Finch tutorial again. I think these were when I started looking up poses. There's websites you can use. I recommend. One is called quickposes.com. Some of them are NSFW, so you have to be careful. But I will say it really helps, because you could do 30-second to 2-minute timers of models posing, and you have like 30 seconds to 2 minutes to just like quickly get the shape out. And you just want to get straight lines or curved lines and just like roughly follow the contours of their body. Again, this isn't a tutorial. This is more about my journey with a little bit of guidelines. This I kind of went a little psycho. I just drew a bunch of shapes. Wanted to get some line confidence in, which I recommend. And then this was a cool day. I think this was like day 5 or 6. And I drew some pretty cool cubes in perspective, which I had fun doing. I drew some squiggly line shading, trying to make a gradient here. These were actually characters, believe it or not. This was L from Death Note. In one of his pictures, I tried to do a gesture drawing of him with his hands in his pockets. You could probably guess who this is. This is supposed to be Thornfinn with his daggers out in another panel. This is a gestural manga frame of Light Yagami leaning over a balcony with Ryuk next to him. And this one was actually a One Piece character. I forget his name, but he's Shanks' twin brother, which you can see. I believe I started a picture of him in the next page here, which I actually need to complete. Still working on it, though. This was just like a weird drawing I did for my head. I didn't really like it, though. And then, boom. I want to say this was day 8 or 9. Getting close to current here. But yeah, this is where I just exploded a bunch of gestural drawings. You could see, just went a little bit crazy with them. So I like this one right here. It's kind of a sneaky looking, weird gesture. Was definitely cool. I continued it. And this honestly helps so much, just doing these random gestures. I want to say this was like around day 9 or 10 at this point. Probably day 9. So, yeah. Next day, again, gestural drawings. And this stuff isn't necessarily like the most fun. Like, everyone kind of wants to see like the anime characters and like all that fancy stuff that you see on TV. But this gives you just so much line confidence, so much understanding of perspective. I tried to go here and do more shape figures. Trying to make cylinders and cubes and spheres to make my characters. So that was cool. I want to say this is day 10. I started doing perspective drawings, actually using the book How to Learn to Draw Comics the Marvel Way by Stan Lee. And his illustrator, who I'm blanking on the name of right now, but you can check that out. David Finch recommended that book. I highly recommend it as well. I'll actually go ahead and put the link to that in the description, because I believe it's archived, so you're allowed to read the book. Here, I started getting into perspective drawing. So this was also from that book. Was really cool. Drew like a cubed figure, I drew a horizon point with a single point perspective. I drew a 2-point perspective horizon point. Then again, I got into figures. This was my attempt at trying to understand how a wheel could be turned into a 3-dimensional object, which is difficult for me to grasp still, but I'm getting there. And then this is an example of what you could do once you get some of this stuff down. So this was really fun. I did this at Starbucks for a day, and we got Spider-Man. We got kind of like a floating Iron Man type character in a plane. So this was a cool single point perspective, and had a lot of fun doing that. Then we go down here, did a 3-point perspective drawing, which again, still grasping, and a little bit of a shadow work here. And this was, I think, yesterday. Yeah, this was yesterday. So we're pretty much caught up. Then yesterday night, I went back to undisciplined mode, stopped my gesture drawings, and I just did a couple request drawings. I had a person, Tobacco Sauce and More, requested this owl character. A follower, Night Owl, requested a Pikachu drawing. A little Raichu drawing as well, which I was pretty tired at this point, so I don't know, it was kind of mid, but it's all good. And then back to gestural drawings lightly today, and that's it. Now we just got some blank pages left over. So I think the takeaway is that many drawings are going to be your way to go to get good quickly. You don't want to overwhelm yourself with these like big detailed drawings that look really cool and you like saw on social media or whatever. One other thing I'm actually excited about is I did also just get a light box in, so I'm going to trace mandalas, which is just like a geometrical pattern. So I'm going to trace mandalas under a light box, and this is just to technically build line confidence, so I don't have to like trip if I'm not using a ruler, etc. That's pretty much it. Just stay consistent, draw shapes, deconstruct drawings, and just really understand how and why the art is made, and not just like how you can blindly copy it. And that is the best advice I could give someone starting out as of about a week and a half into learning how to draw and drawing every day for 100 days. I'm gonna end it here. I'm uploading shorts every single day. You don't need to donate. I don't have a Patreon or anything like that set up. If you could just follow and subscribe, it would mean so much to me. And also, I'm definitely down to do any characters that y'all want, so just comment. Like I showed you at the end of this video, I'm already doing a bunch of random characters for people, so it actually brings me joy to draw characters that people like. It gives me something to do. So, yep, ending it here. Thanks, y'all.